What did you end up doing drunk? Had a conversation with 2 police officers and got a free ride home. No criminal record required. Still don't remember exactly what I said. In college, my drunk friend started walking towards 2 cops on horses. Our first thought was, oh no, what is he doing? We go over to try to do damage control. As we emerged from the crowd, we see him petting this horse with this giant smile on his face. Turns out he saw a horse and just wanted to ask the cops if he could pet it. Not just drunk, but went to a party and ended up on a different continent. 1994 Detroit. Went to a rave in a warehouse on the east side. Got talking about music with one of the DJ crowd. He asked if I want to go to his next gig. I say yes, thinking the usual next stop will be Chicago or whatever. One intoxicant leads to another, and I regain clarity in a private plane over water. Although conscious, I wasn't aware we flew to LAX and refueled. We land in Sydney, and I have to go to the embassy with just my driver's license. The embassy staff know the guy. I'm apparently not the only American he's absconded with. Partied that night and then went to his father's ranch for a few days. Partied in Melbourne and then flew to Chicago with one of his friends. Hitchhiked back to Detroit. Perfect spring break. Holy shit, the dad lore here is screaming. This might be the coolest story I've ever read. Spend $300 on a phone game? LOL. Didn't even end up getting what I wanted. Which game was it? It was Marvel Contest of Champions. It a fun game, just don't play while you drink LOL. My friends and I rented a cabin in the Rockies. During the second day, we went to a liquor store. Spent $80 on liquor and beers after finishing a supply that was supposed to last us all weekend in an afternoon and don't even remember it happening. All that was gone in the morning. It was a bunch of friends and I, somewhere in the middle of Colorado Springs. Apparently, my sober friend who was driving us, this was at like 10 p.m., and was sober because she was cooking dinner for everyone. She's like the mom of the group. Wanted to pay, and I snatched her card, tossed it across the liquor store like a frisbee. I was an ultimate frisbee player in college, and proceeded to pay myself. The clerk was like, "What the fuck?" And my other friend was on the floor dying of laughter. He was also mega drunk. I don't remember any of it happening. I just woke up and I saw a notification on my phone from my bank with the transaction amount. There is a whole shared photo album of the entire weekend. You ever seen The Hangover? You know how in the credits there are shit tons of pictures of what they did but they don't remember? That's exactly what going through that album felt like. There is a picture of one of my good friends sleeping between 2 mattresses, using one as a blanket. Us jumping off the balcony into the mattresses, munching on the food my friend cooked, picking up burning coal from the fireplace, doing stupid shit in the woods. Apparently we were out looking for bears with bagged raw meat on our hands, and just stupid shit like that. College was fun, man. Back on early 2000s, worked at a pizza place. Small town, friends party on a private house. It's 4 a.m. and I am proper drunk, still willing and capable. No food in sight. And this bad boy really needs his food before bedtime when he gets drunk to soak up all the mistakes done. So, I pick the pizzeria's lock, make a nice fire on the pizza oven, cook a pizza, do some prep for the next day, eat my pizza while having a cold beer, pay for it, clean up and leave. The owner calls me into the office next day on the end of my shift. He is watching me on the CCTV, points out that I have tipped myself, and gives me a set of keys to the front door saying, "Next time just use the bloody keys, mate." What a freaking legend Mr. Paul was. R.I.P. Paul.
Kissed 4 guys in one night. One of them was my ex. I was blackout and could only remember my ex and the guy that drove me home. Sat on the last guy's lap without anything on because we had something going on years before that. And puked the hell out of me before telling my ex's mom that he was an asshole because he only wanted to sleep with me. But in reality, my ex was always texting his best friend, with whom he shared dick pics and stuff traumatic about how they were each other's Discord kittens and stuff. Said best friend also followed him to go pee together. He was watching while my ex peed. So yeah, stupid decisions as always, but happy that that's a while ago.
Bought a house. Appropriate username. I hope that wasn't a decision sober you regrets, because that's a big un. Ha 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 ha. No way, man. 15 years in, no regrets here. Only the decision was made on a drunken whim to see if I could, so I did. Successfully got out of a friendship with less than desirables I had known for months by doing the honorable thing, deliberately getting stiff-ass drunk, insulting them. A planned one-off bottle-worthy maneuver of vodka consumption so as to avoid conflict, sort of a controlled little test, as vodka doesn't get trippy and confusing when drank on its own, getting them, not ironically, to ask me to leave. It was a good plan, and after me saying a few inappropriate things and also politely that I would leave while making sure there was an awkward pause on purpose, God, it worked on their dumb asses, and the backlash was minimal. I left the house, had a bit of a cry thinking, or it might have been the rain, thinking that's just how you have to deal with life sometimes. Knew I did the right thing, except for telling the mother that it will be okay, you are good looking. She was ugly as F, and the family knew it. Left and walked 1 kilometer home in the rain. Overall, a success. They divorced, moved out of town, and are now not abusive towards me. Just remember, if you have a sober habit of behaving poorly and bad-mouthing others, it backfires, and no one but your own family and close friends will believe any more that comes out of your mouth. Edit. The reason I wanted out was due to their bad-mouthing everyone and everything, but otherwise their bite was not as bad as their bark. Left the bar with a woman 20 years older. We were on the slots, drinking, ended up talking on the bench outside at closing, then walked to her place. Ended up cooking me this breakfast spread at 4 a.m. Was on her couch when she started talking about her dead son. Just ended up consoling her in the end, instead of letting Johnson roam free. Walked home at 6 a.m. with a full stomach and sack. What did I not end up doing? I jumped off a building, and instead of tucking and rolling, I landed flat-footed. Couldn't walk right for a week. Rode a dirt bike, wrecked and tore up my knee, hand, cracked my face, lost a tooth, and busted my chin open. Drove countless times, got pulled over twice, and was just told to roll my windows down and go home. I was 18. 19, finally got a DUI 2 months before my 21st birthday, and thrown in the worst jail ever. Did make me stop drinking. That's just the highlights.
Christmas Eve 2021, I got drunk and cried over my first car that had gotten totaled 2 weeks before. Last night, fought myself against texting my crush of 4 years that I love him. My drunk mind is a dynamic, really. An ex is a big no-no, but a 4-year crush? Let that drunk version of you rip off that band-aid and get it done. You are incredibly correct. I'm just scared of messing up what is otherwise a wonderful friendship.
Ordered 100 shots, blacked put, and woke up in my bed, fully clothed, with shot glasses all over the bed, in my pockets, and stuffed into my socks. Everything was sticky from the booze. Then another time, me and my friends stole one of those table taps that holds 3 liters from a bar. Then we went to 7-Eleven, bought a bottle of whiskey and 2 larges Cokes, filled it up and hopped on the train where we offered people a free booze if they would drink it out of the tap. Whiskey cola, anyone? Whiskey cola? The tap was of very crappy quality though, so we'd end up spilling over a few people who got soaked and very pissed. In the end, I had it sitting on my shelf through my time at uni and brought it out on numerous occasions. This feels like a British anecdote. I think I had a cop save my life once. I was walking home from a party in -40°C. Bad idea. I know. And all I remember is standing in front of a cop asking for my ID, me asking if I was under arrest, him telling me, "No, I just pulled you out of a snowbank and I just want to get you home." I don't remember falling in a snowbank. I think I spent the whole ride home complimenting his truck and him laughing at me. If he hadn't seen me in the snowbank, there's a good chance I would have frozen to death. Yes, you would have. I lost my bill exactly that way. We lived in the Yukon. It was a cold March around 30 and he passed out in a doorway to a closed business. Really glad to hear you were found. It was 10 years ago, but for some reason, just now, it's clicking in my head just how lucky I am. I'm sorry for your loss. I think I might buy a couple sandwich platters for the police station this week, just to say thanks. Maiden bet I could climb through our bathroom window, and one also, I have a video of it. Small backstory for anyone interested. We were in Norway for 3 weeks as part of an exchange program, and we had an Airbnb there. So one night we got drunk and I made the bet. Hence I moved my fat ass trough and way too small, window drunk as can be. It's up there on the list of stupid things I did drunk. So I was 18 and dumb. AF. I drank with 2 others, and I somehow drank half the bottle of Jack Daniels. I was blackout drunk and beyond fucked up. I ended up throwing my vape. I had it for 3 days, plus it was one of those vapes you refilled yourself, so it was shattered, fell backward through a door, and broke it completely, calling all my friends mutuals and telling them random shit, stumbling and falling into everything. Had my friend and her brother drive me to their house. They drove my car, plus put me in the back seat. Then after they all fell asleep, I went back over to their house without without letting them know and without my shoes. Yeah, the morning after was really bad. I woke up with one large bruise from my wrist to my elbow, many bruises all over my body, some bruises on my face, many angry plus concerned messages, a broken restroom door, a missing vape never found, 6 angry people, a terrible, terrible hangover, and lots of explaining to do. The thing is, I didn't remember any of what happened, so I couldn't explain my actions. My friend was also freaking out. BCU, she woke up to me gone after taking me to her house. She was beyond angry that I didn't let them know. I don't blame her one bit. It was a terrible, dangerous, and selfish thing to do. After that experience, I stayed away from drinking until I was actually 21. It was extremely irresponsible, and so many people were hurt and disappointed by my actions. Myself too. TBH with you, but I definitely don't drink that heavily or much. BCUs of that experience. If you want, you can like and subscribe.